as a assertive skill, which is most important to become a successful in the life, to become a successful employee, to become a successful employer also. Even though you wanted to become a successful employer, you need to have an assertive skill. Or even if you wanted to become entrepreneurs, then also you need to have an assertive skill. So today I intend to cover the assertive skill, what what it is actually, and how those skills are being nurtured, how it is to be developed, what are the characteristics of the skill, where it differs from the other skills. I will try to share my presentation. Is the slide visible? Is the slide visible? Someone should answer me.
No,
Hello?
sir.
Is not visible?
So now it is visible.
It is now.
Okay, now it's visible, that's fine. Before we go to the assertive skill or assertiveness or assertion, okay, these are all basically the various verb and proverb, etc. Let's first understand what it is and why it is required. Either you will be a successful businessman or whosoever, or successful a social person, then also it requires a assertive skill. That's a very important part of the our life. Now let's understand what it is. First thing is, there are three skills. Some are natural and some are to be developed. We have seen yesterday the skill and trade difference also. So there are some skills, all skills normally required to be developed. Traits are something you do not have to put any effort. You do not have to put any effort to develop that. Whereas the skill is always required some development. Now let's start with the three different type of skill people have. One is passivity. Some people are passive. Passive. Passive means, understand that. Passive means basically the person who is very mild, very docile. He cannot speak for himself or herself also. These are all basically the passive persons. That is one's trait. It is, I don't say it is skill. It is a trait person have, and person don't require that trait, but it is there, then it remain with him or her, and he or she needs to develop other skills. Second is assertiveness. Okay, before we go to the second key, say this passivity is a trait. I mean, you are born with passivity. Some are born docile, some are born aggressive, and that nature or that particular temperament remain in the person throughout life. Okay. Passivity is also like that. There are some people who are very docile in nature, who don't speak much. He can't speak for himself. He can't talk about his or her own rights also. These are the passive people. And that is the one skill, passivity. Second is aggressive. This is another skill. Aggressiveness. I'm just defining the words actually. Second is aggressiveness. Some people are by nature aggressive. Means they always be very aggressive, always come with very force, logically, illogically, whatever. But they are aggressive. There are some people, you might have seen some people who are basically always finding out some problem to quarrel with. There is always some. They have a full-time job. Some people have a full-time job. They always try to find out some opportunities so that they can quarrel. Once they quarrel, they satisfy. That is what the aggressiveness. Or I mean, the people with sound anger. They are the aggressiveness. Now, both of the skills have merits and demerits. Okay. Say passive skill doesn't have a much of a merit. If it is there in you, you must drop it as early as possible and try to develop yourself either, assertive or aggressive. Aggressive is also another trait which is there in some of the people. But this is also not good skill. It will also not give a good result all the time. Okay. So ultimately, the skill which is in most demanding, desirable, is assertiveness. You should be assertive. That is very important. You should have an assertion in your talk. So this is more. What is assertion? Will look forward into the forthcoming slides. Now, one thing let us be clear. These three skills I am talking about. One is assertive skill, which is required to be developed by the people. Second is aggressive skill, which is a trait actually, not skill. And third is a passivity. It is also a trait, not a skill. Okay. So it means that there are two natural traits or a natural skill. And one skill which is very important is to be developed or known as a learned skill. You have to learn it. You have to put effort to basically learn those specific skills. Okay. So these are how the passivity, assertiveness, and aggressiveness are defined. Out of say assertiveness, because assertiveness is a requirement of any successful person. So basically, basic we have a three behavior style. One behavior is non-assertive, passive. Second behavior is aggressive, means the people who are much aggressive in nature always put their viewpoint with very aggressions, very loudly. And third is basically assertive. Now, unfortunately, the assertive skill is the most demanding, most desirable, and normally when you go for an interview, people will see how much assertion you have in your talk, how much assertion you have in your viewpoint, how you put your viewpoint. They don't require aggression also, and passive is totally discarded. Basically, so there are three skills: non-assertive, aggressive, and assertive. So basically, if you look at here, unfortunately, non-assertive and aggressive are the skills which are basically a natural skill or natural trait. You can say skill. I am using the word because of the assertive skill, but they are the basically natural trait. Means it come you born with those traits. You are basically born with that trait. Now both of the skills are not desirable in any project or any venture of your life. Because non-assertive is totally not desirable. Docile people will never like by, even they don't like themselves also. Aggressive people are something different. They are fighters actually. They always keep on fighting. And the assertive is the right type of skill which you have to learn. So it is basically a learned skill. Okay, assertive skill is a learned skill. Now, if we go further, so these are the three basic behavior patterns. Person may be aggressive or maybe non-assertive. Non-assertive means basically a passive, a docile type of person. You can see the caricature also. Whether there is a third skill, assertive, third skill which is assertive and which is most in demand and most desirable by any candidate for the interview or any entrepreneurs you want to make. So if you look at, these are the three basic types of behavior pattern. Okay. Now, one thing is very important. One is aggressive people also sometimes gets result. They also sometimes win actually. But the non-assertive people hardly they win. Because they are, we call it, in Gujarati, we call it baila or something like that. They are very docile in nature, they will not speak for themselves, like that. Okay. Whereas assertive skill is always a win-win solution. They are a win-win solution. Okay. They always win. Okay. Now, even if you have read the autobiography of Gandhiji or Mahatma Gandhi, he also wrote कि अगर मुझे हिंसा और कायरता में से किसी को चूज करना हो तो I will choose violence or hinsa. Means if we have to select between violence and the passiveness or a docile person, then he will also select the violence over the non-assertive people. So it means that non-assertive people is almost discarded. Nobody likes them because they cannot do anything actually. They are not in a position to do anything. And if you are non-assertive because some this is a trait, sometimes you born with that type of trait, then you have to take some time and develop yourself to become a assertive. That's what basically a requirement. Now, let's say I will just have a characteristic of a passive people or a non-assertive behavior people, docile people. They are always passive and indirect. They never face the people. They fear. They basically fear. They don't face the people. They are always give messages indirectly. They themselves do not come forward because they are afraid. Okay, they are afraid. Their basic trait is to afraid. Okay. So passive and indirect, they communicate messages of inferiority as if they are very inferior to all other people. Okay. So they can't impress anybody. They always communicate the message with inferiority. Then they always feel that wants, needs, and rights of others are more important than ours. Means if the person is docile, he will always feel that other right is more important than me. That's what basically a basic trait actually. And it creates a win-lose situation. He will always lose. He will always lose, and opponent will always win. Okay, that's what happens in the non-assertive behavior. And non-assertiveness leads to being a victim always. Now I'll tell you that let us understand that how he becomes a victim. You know that suppose you have a team of 4 or 5 people. Okay. And there is a one person is very aggressive. Now, since the person is very aggressive, and if you are heading a team, you are a team leader. Okay. Suppose the person is very aggressive, you also afraid that why to unnecessarily counter him. Okay. He will basically reback. Okay. So what you do is, you will select one of the docile person in the team, and you will keep on hampering on that docile person and try to give message to a person who is more aggressive. So it means that non-assertive people are always become victims. People take the advantage of those guys. People manipulate them. People basically manipulate them. So non-assertiveness leads to being a victim always. So if you're that traits, drop it as early as possible. Okay. Now let's come to the aggressive. Aggressive behavior is sometimes it gives result, but it is more complex. Sometimes they don't know what for they are fighting. They keep on fighting actually. As I said in the beginning, these guys, the people with the aggressive trait or aggressive behavior, these guys always try to find out some opportunity whereby he or she will fight with others. Then and then they will satisfy, and then they will get a good sleep actually. Okay. So this is more complex. Aggressiveness skill is a more complex and can be passive or active sometimes. They never know what they are doing. They never know what they are doing. Sometimes they don't know they are fighting for what, and they are fighting for whom. Sometimes they don't fight for themselves; they fight for opponent people also. Because logic, say once you basically lose your temper, no, your all reasoning will lost. Be clear about it. Okay. Once you become angry, or once you get excited and angry, your all reasoning will be lost. There won't be any reasoning. Okay. So remember that it is more complex, and you don't know what you are doing. So it can be direct or indirect, honest or dishonest. Because when you are fighting, you don't basically go logical. Your main motive is to fight. Always communicates impression of superiority and disrespect over others. They always feel that they are superior to all others in the world, and they have always disrespect for everyone else except that. Self needs, wants, and rights above those of others. They feel that their self need is more important than everybody else. If in a team he is one of the member, then he feels that he needs and wants and rights are more than all other team members. That's what basically the aggressive behavior people think. then if it invoke bully perception by others, this will always invoke a bully perception, as if they are more powerful and they always wanted to show that they are powerful. They may not. Success may invoke retaliation. Means even though these guys, see, sometime you might have seen in your day-to-day life also, sometime the aggressive people also succeed. But sometime, remember, whenever they succeed, all other will become his or her enemy because their aggressive behavior doesn't help anybody else. Okay. So even though the aggressive person win, or even though the aggressive person win in a particular topic or particular viewpoint, then remember that all other persons working with him or her becomes his or her enemy. So that is what the aggressive behavior is. That is what the aggressive behavior is. Okay. Now, as I said, that aggressive behavior is also not desirable, and the non-assertive behavior or a passive behavior is totally not desirable. Okay. Both behavior are basically not desirable in the industrial life, even in a personal life also. Okay. Now, how the negative attitude and aggressive behavior works together? See, once you are aggressive, over a period of time, you become negative. Because when you keep on fighting with anybody, whosoever comes in your way, actually, okay, whosoever comes in, you will keep on fighting with him or her. Okay. Then over a period of time, you have a negative attitude. Now, this aggressive behavior, basically lack of self-confidence, because they don't have self-confidence. Otherwise, they will not fight. If I have self-confidence, I know that what I'm going to get. So I have not to fight for my right because it will automatically come. And low self-esteem. They don't have much esteem. Okay? They don't have much esteem. They have a lack of respect towards others. They don't respect anybody else in the world. Put others down. They've always wanted to put anybody else into the down. Said all they wanted to insult everyone and see that they are the more superior. Okay, the feelings of superiority will be there. Like to be in control and people and situations. They wanted to dominate the whole crowd. They wanted to dominate the whole team or a group. Okay, and what are the people around? Okay, that is what their basically behavior. Disinterested in others' thoughts and feeling. They never have an interest in anybody else's thought and feeling. They don't bother for anybody else's feeling, and they don't bother that what others are thinking about it. And that feel angry towards others and are quick to blame them. You have seen that aggressive people or the temperamental people always keep on blaming others without looking at themselves and don't listen to or ask questions. They will never ask questions because they keep on fighting. And they don't listen also. They don't listen to anybody. Yesterday we have seen that listening skill is also to be developed. It is a new discipline. It is a new discipline. But these aggressive behavior people will never listen and never ask questions. They keep on putting their judgment more forcibly, right or wrong, and dismissive of feedback. They never look at the feedback. They never see the feedback because they feel that I am the best in the world. So this is what the negative attitude for an aggressive behavior people. Okay. Sometimes aggressiveness is good for marketing, but it will not a permanently successful. See, sometimes you know that if you come with very aggression, you will succeed also. But remember, that is always a temporary success. It is always a temporary success. I mean, you are IT people, no? You all are IT people. Take the case of Java and C Sharp. Everybody knows about it. I'm sure. Might be knowing better than me. Okay. Both are languages used in a website development or a web functions. Okay. Java has its own merit and demerit. C Sharp has also its own merit and demerit. C Sharp is basically developed by Microsoft, and whatever the Microsoft develops, they always come out with a lot of aggression that our product is the best in the world. They came with C Sharp also like that in the beginning. Today, perhaps you will not find much name of the C Sharp, but still Java remains. Still Java remains. because Java has its own open source and so many other merits, which you may be also knowing. Okay. And still in the industry, I am from the industry, I'm an industrial person. In the industry, we will prefer the people of Java over the C sharp. Even though C sharp has a good merit also, you can develop faster, etc. But that's basically a temporary. Now, there is a one joke actually, or one advertisement Microsoft has given long back. You might not have read that. I have read in the American Journal. Microsoft has given one joke in the as an advertisement of the C sharp, or for the promoting a C sharp. Say the one boy or one young boy keep on jogging in the morning in the park. Okay. And then many people are jogging nowadays, isn't it? He keep on jogging in the park. And he saw one old man, much older than me and much older, maybe in 70 or 75. He has seen the one old man there, and he has seen that old man was reading a C sharp, he was engrossed in the book of C sharp. So the boy has noticed that the old man is basically reading a C sharp book. Again, second round he came there, still the old man is still engrossed into the book of Caesar. He was slightly wondering that at this age, at the 80 years of age, why the person is reading the Caesar. Again, on the third round he came, still the old man has not seen him. He was just engrossed in the book. He was not taking his head out of the book. So now the boy was slightly wondering. He stops. Then he asked the old man, we call it what, Kaka or whatever I mean. Okay. He called the old man, Kaka, why you are reading Caesar's book at this age? Are you going to develop something at this age? Okay. Then the old man first time had seen the boy actually. Okay. He raised his head, seen the boy, and he said very calmly, that it is written that C sharp is basically a knowledge, or C sharp is a language of heaven. So I am reading it. Now the boy was basically sharp. He says that the guy is talking something else. So he was also clever. He said that, Kaka, how you know, or uncle, how you know that you are going to heaven only? Okay, so that's a very sharp question the boy has asked to the old man. Now the old man has replied very nicely that don't worry, I know Java also. So this basically gives as if the C sharp is a language of heaven and the Java is not that. Okay. That is how the Microsoft come very aggressively in the marketing. Okay. But today, this was the case of before 8 years or so. I have read the American Journal before 8 years or so. Okay. And today you know that where C sharp is and where the Java is. You know better perhaps. Still people prefer the Java people in the industry at least. Okay. So I mean that's what basically aggressiveness sometimes gives a good result, but not always. Not always. And when you are entrepreneur, no, you should be aggressive, but aggressive should be judiciary. Aggressive should always be balanced with your harmony. Harmony means balance with your assertiveness. That's what basically the how the aggressive people work. Okay. Now, if you look at the negativity into the aggressive people, there is lack of self-confidence. I think we have said lack of self-respect, mistrustful. They are always mistrustful and suspicious to others. If you look at the any aggressive person, okay, then you will find or angry person, they always basically have some sort of a lack of respect for others, okay, and lack of self-respect and for others, mistrustful and suspicious. They are always suspicious. You've seen that angry people, they are always suspicious, okay, and they have always negative feelings and thoughts about the others. Okay, they never speak good of anybody else in the world. Feel very towards others. Dishonest and indirect. Basically, when they are angry, honesty will be the first victim. When you get angry, two things will happen. One thing is you lose reasoning. Second thing is your honesty will also evaporate. Your honesty will go actually. Okay. and twist what others have said. Okay, because they don't go logically. And undetermined other self-esteem. They never bother for the other self-esteem, depress and demotivate. If you look at by heart, internally, if you go to the angry people, they are always depressed and they are demotivated. That's the reason why they are angry. That's the reason why they are angry. Okay. Now, basically, I will come to the major point now. Say, when you wanted to develop a good assertive skill, which is most important today to become a good entrepreneur or to become a good employee or to become a good social person or to become a good command being. Let's see what first thing is you have to do the anger management. Everybody can be angry. Okay, at some time, except docile people or except the non-assertive skill people or non-assertive behaviors people. So you have to do the anger management. Anger management is a big discipline today, and I will just show you 2 3 slides on that. So how you have to manage the anger. Okay. The key to anger reduction is knowing yourself. You should know yourself first, actually. Okay. And I mean, then it is possible that you will basically have some sort of anger management. Do important jobs now before they become urgent. You know that there are some jobs. See, actually, I have not actually covered yesterday because we have not covered the time management. The time management skill also take around 1.5 hours. Okay. Basically, what happen in time management is there are some jobs which are very important. There are some jobs which are very urgent. Okay. Unfortunately, we do not distinguish between urgent and the important. Okay. And our diary also is 2 dimensional. It is not 3 dimensional. Had it been 3 dimensional, then we have an urgent job and important job for each day also. Okay. But ultimately what happened, all important jobs are not urgent. And converse is also true. All urgent jobs are not important. But important job becomes a urgent over a period of time. So do important job now before they become urgent. So that's what basically you should know. You should know yourself. Okay. And then basically you have to reduce your anger first and understand. You have to reduce the anger first and understand. Okay. Now when you make a mistakes, okay, how you control the anger. When you make a mistakes, learn from them rather than getting angry. People always basically getting angry rather than learning a mistakes. Rather than learning a mistake, they always get angry. Let us learn something from the mistakes rather than getting angry. Okay. Now, most problems are really the absence of ideas. Think ahead, anticipate. Okay, most of the problem occurs and that will get you angry actually. The reason is because you don't have ideas about it. You don't have a much skeleton about it. Okay. So think ahead and anticipate what will happen and then that. Or do it or get it done. Even if second base, you will be less angry. So remember that you should be very careful. Most problems are really the absence of ideas. Think ahead, anticipate, do it or get it done. Even if second base, you will be less angry. Okay. Try to experiment this. Okay. Then organize your mind and organize your desk for 6 minutes every hour. Take a break of 6 minutes every hour. Okay, I'm taking break after 1.5 hours, doesn't it? Yesterday also we took break. Take a break of at least 6 minutes every hour so that you will organize your job, you will organize your desk, and your mind will remain fresh and unnecessarily will not basically get angry. You will not unnecessarily get angry. Key. Then say sorry at the right moment to reduce the anger of others. Key. So people take a lot of time, actually, unfortunately, I don't know why. People take a lot of time to say sorry even though he or she wanted to say sorry, they take time. So don't take much time to say sorry if you feel so. Okay, at the right moment you say sorry to reduce them so that the other people's anger will be reduced. For every 10 minutes you are angry, you lose 600 seconds of happiness. Consider like this. Even though you are angry for 10 minutes, your happiness of 600 seconds will go. Okay. And the only thing that will make you happy is being happy with who you are and not who people think you are. So know yourself well, and treat the other people also accordingly. Treat the other people also accordingly. Okay. So this is how you should basically manage your. Always remember, a short pencil is better than a long memory. Use it to reduce your anger. Okay. So basically, that's very important, is that a short pencil is better than a long memory. Use it to reduce anger. Okay. So basically, nobody can make you angry without your consent. Never get angry with a man who has nothing to lose. This sentence is very important. Both the sentences are very important. Nobody can make you angry without your consent. Okay. So you are giving consent to other person to agree with you. And never get angry with a man who has nothing to lose. Okay. Because if I have not to lose anything, I can do anything in the world. Okay. So don't get angry with those type of people. Okay. Then the most common occupational disease is poor executive, his inability to listen. The result is, see, in industry, what happened? In industries, most of the executives, basically poor. I mean, they are poor at listening. They might not have attended my class of listening skill. They are poor at listening. They are unable for listening skill. As a result, they will get angry. If you have a good listening skill, if you understood our yesterday's session about listening, then it is likely that you will not get angry unnecessarily. So the most common occupational disease of poor, you will be treated as a poor executive if you are not listening. So if you are unable to listen, then the result is angry. You will get anger. So let us first do the anger management. Let us first do the anger management so that you will not become aggressive unnecessarily. Never reply to a letter when you are angry because you don't know what you are writing. If you are angry, never give any mail when you are emotionally charged. Never give reply to anybody else when you are angry because you don't know what you are writing. Yeah, and unnecessarily you are putting a blame on someone else who is not at all in the picture. So never reply to a letter when you are angry. Then make common sense your best friend to reduce your anger and the anger of others. You should use your common sense. Common sense is very much uncommon nowadays, actually. Okay, so make common sense your best friend to reduce your anger and the anger of others. Okay. That's basically, you should use always your common sense, it is with you. Indecision makes you angry, therefore decide this way or that way. If you don't decide in a proper time, it will make you angry. So you have to always decide this way or that way. And therefore decision making is also a skill. So we cannot cover all the skill actually. As I said yesterday, it requires 6 full days seminar actually. But decision making is also a skill. Okay. So indecision, if you are indecisive, it is very likely that you will get in the trap of angry. You become angry. Okay. Decide this way or that way at a right time so that you will not get angry. So decision making is also very important. Okay, when you are an executive or when you are employee or when you are talking to your relatives or in a social functions. Okay. You cannot change others. That's the one thing. It is very hard task. Nobody has changed anybody. You cannot change others as easily as you can change yourself. So try to change yourself. Okay. Rather than become angry to others, let us try to change yourself. So you cannot change others as easily as you can change yourself. We remember this sentence so that you can always change yourself well, so that you do the good anger management and you can develop a assertive skill over a period of time. Okay. Do not just catch your employees or your children doing wrong things. It will make you angry. Catch them doing right things. Normally, what happens, this is very common actually. Like the executive have a habit to catch the employees doing the wrong thing. Okay, either using internet for some other purpose than the official, they will catch him. And for their children also they do that. If they are not using the internet properly, so seeing or browsing some indecent sites, no, they will catch them. Catching them for the wrong thing, better catch them for the right thing, so that you can manage your anger well. Okay. When you want to get things done, use creative ways to remind people as they tend to forget conveniently. This will reduce your anger. Okay. Remember this, understand this. When you want to get things done, use creative ways to remind people as they tend to forget conveniently. What are the creative ways? Because the angry people also lost so many things. One is reasoning, okay, second is patience, and third is creativity also. He will lose creativity also. So basically, you have to show that conveniently, and so that it reduce your anger also and his or her anger also. Okay. Most people remember of what they hear, understand this fact to reduce your anger. Okay. So that's very important. They remember that all others are here, and you can't afford to be angry with some persons. A strong man is not one who can fight, but one who can control temper than angry. See, sometimes what happens is we feel that the strong, only those who fight are the strong people. That was a Roman tendency. Okay, before 2000 years, the Romans have that tendency. They are fighting and they are very angry. Okay. But a strong man is not in the current scenario. Strong man is not one who can fight, but one who can control temper when angry, and that is what the assertiveness. Assertiveness doesn't say that you should not be angry. You should be angry, but during that time, you should be in the control. You should be control of yourself. That's very important. Okay. Anyone can be polite to a king. It takes gentleman lady to be polite to a beggar. There's a one quote, very nice quote. Anyone can be polite to a king, but it takes gentleman or lady to be polite to a beggar. So become a gentleman or a gentle lady. Become a gentleman or gentle lady so that you will be polite to the beggar also. Not keep on fighting. Because aggressiveness has a lot of disadvantages as we have seen earlier. Now, see the aggressive people always point out someone. They always find out some people, some scapegoats. Okay, some scapegoat they always find out. Okay. But never point your finger at somebody. It is as this makes you look harsh as it. Even if you point out your finger to someone, you will look harsh and you look angry. So do the temper management better. There is Aristotle's very nice quote I want to put here. Anyone can become angry. That is easy. Aggressive, or even sometimes if you want that docile person also become angry, then you keep on pointing him in such a way that sometimes he or she will also become angry. Okay, that is easy. Anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, this is not easy. Once again, I will tell you. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, this is not right. Because that required, so basically, this is nothing. But this will require, actually, this will require a development of assertion or development of assertive skill. Okay, this ultimately requires development of assertive skill in you. You have to develop that. It is not trait actually. Unfortunately, we feel that it should be a natural behavior, but unfortunately, God has not given that as a natural behavior. God has given only two traits. One is aggressive and one is non-assertive or docile. Key. So you have to develop that, and this is what you have to develop when you are developing the assertive skill. Angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way. Okay, that's not easy actually. And that is what the construction of your assertive skill. Now, we are human beings. We are not animals. How animal reacts actually? Suppose some challenge comes. Animal have a two options. If the challenge comes from the lion, suppose there is a fox. Okay, if there is a fox, and the lion comes from the opposite side, challenge comes to him, then fox will basically, he can't fight with the lion. So what he do? He will take the flight and run away from that. So it's a flight. They will take a flight and run away. And but suppose a small rat comes from the opposite side. Okay. Then the fox will basically attempt to fight with him. Okay, that time he become aggressive. So there is a fight and flight situation for the animals. When challenge comes, either they will fight, means they will become aggressive, or they will fight, means they will go away, run away from that. So non-assertive. Fight means non-assertive. So basically, they will either fight or fight. That is a challenge. At the time of time, animal does it. We are not animals. We are human beings. We claim to have a good brain also. Okay. So we should not have a flight and fight attitude. We should logically, analytically, and problem solving people. Okay. We are logical people. We are analytical people, and we are problem solving people. Okay. So that's the reason that we can't afford to be non-assertive. We should not become aggressive. We should become assertive actually. Okay. So that is, we are not animals. We are human beings. So assertiveness implies balancing of power. Okay. Assertiveness always implies that there is a balance of power. Okay. Then, if you are right, what is the essence of assertiveness? If you are right, there is no need to get angry. And if you are wrong, then you don't have any right to get angry. Be clear about it. कि कि अगर आप सही होते हैं तो आपको एंग्री होने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती, और अगर आप सही नहीं होते तो आपको एंग्री होने का कोई राइट भी नहीं कि so this is the essence of assertivity. Remember that, understand this with all transactions you do with the people. Okay. Then, do you think whether you require to be assertive or not? Do you think it is all right to know or understand the things? You are responsible to yourself, and that you are responsible rather than be guided by the vague addicts. That to get along in life, everybody does not have to be like you or have goodwill towards you and vice versa. That it is only human to fail and have inadequacies. Say, do you think so? Okay, let us remember, do you think so? Okay. If you think that it is right to know or understand the thing, you are responsible to yourself, that to get along with life in life, everybody does not have to be like you or have a goodwill towards you, and that's the only woman fail to have inadequacies. Understand this, and if you understand this, keep on thinking on that. And there are more points also. Keep on thinking on that, and that's what basically make your assertive skill developed in you. Okay. Do you have trouble saying a no even when you really should? Say you might have many times you also might have faced. You wanted to say no and you will say yes. Sometimes you wanted to say yes and you say no. We have always trouble in saying clearly yes and clearly no for some things. Okay. So we have a trouble in saying yes to someone and no to someone. So if you have that type of trouble, no, it means that you require to develop a assertive skill. Be clear about when to say yes, when to say no. And that is possible only when you logically analyze the problem. You are logically analyzing a problem. So do you have trouble saying no even when you really should? Then you should see that how you can put assertion in your tongue. Do you feel like people walk all over you? You always wanted that everybody basically talk about you and everybody comes to you. Then you are wrong. There is a point. There is a time that you should understand that you should become assertive. Do you have trouble expressing your thoughts and feelings? If in a group meeting or in a group of your friends or in a family gathering, suppose you have trouble, you can't express your feelings and thoughts well, then it means that you need to develop some more skill so that you can express your thought and feeling more clearly. Do you want to learn better how to stand up for yourself and take charge? See, some people doesn't know. Suppose you wanted something, you should stand up. Okay. And you should take charge of the situation and you put forward your views. Okay, you put forward. That's what the assertive people does. Okay. So you should learn better that how to stand up when you wanted to stand up. Okay. So you have to learn that how to stand up for yourself, not for others. Remember, I'm not talking about others. Stand up for yourself, okay, and take charge of the situation and put forward your viewpoint so that it will be digestible to the people with you within your group or whatever the family members group or your friends group, wherever. Do you have trouble keeping your temper under control? अगर आपको trouble होती है, then you need to be more assertive. You need to be more assertive. Try to control your temper. If you answer yes or to any of the questions which I have narrated here in this slide and the earlier slide, you might find it really helpful to learn about assertive communication. Yesterday, I have given one slide of assertive communication, not much. Okay. Assertive communication, I have said that when you give the communication, you see that other persons or the other side people will not hurt. You give respect to him or her also when you communicate. Okay. Your respect is important. But at the same time, if you are assertive, you will feel that other person's respect is also as important as yours. That's very important. Okay. So that's what the very first funda of a assertive skill. Now let's go to the assertive skill characteristics. Basically, assertive skill is something you will put your viewpoint in such a way that it will be smoothly, without hurdle, that viewpoint will be accepted by the counterpart. You may be a team member in a team, an industry, you ultimately will go to the industry. And industry, you alone cannot work, you have to work with the team. That is, whether we like it or not, that's the base way of doing it. That's the situation, that's the reality. I also wanted that if I will work alone, I can do more productive job. But that's not possible in the industry. The moment you enter the industry, you have to work with other people. You have to work in a group actually. And here some people face it. So if you see the if you recruit the IIT persons or IIM persons, very bright, okay, and you give him some job, give him or her some job, he or she is ready to do that job. He or she will do the job independently very well. Actually. The moment he or she has to associate with some other people, he will be big zero, big zero. Means they have an ego is so high, they have IIT people or IIM people have a so high ego that they can't work with other people. And therefore, you will find that they are basically governed by the, or they are controlled by the chief executive who may not be the well qualified of IIT and IIM because their ego is very high. And in the industry, the situation you can't bypass. You have to work with others. You can't work alone. I'll always be happy if I would work alone because I'm in control of everything. But that's not possible in the industry because jobs are so plenty that one person cannot do it. You need to have a team and you have to work in a team. That's a very important part. So basically, you have to see that within a team, how conveniently you put your points so that the all team members basically accept your ideas. All team member accepts your viewpoints. Everybody wanted that actually. Okay. And that is possible only when you develop assertive skill. That is possible only when you respect all other person also along with you. Everybody respect himself or herself. I understand that. Accept those self people. Yeah, except docile people, everybody respect him or herself. Okay. But they don't respect all other equally. But you become assertive by respecting all others. You feel that all others' respect is also as important as yours. And when you put any your viewpoint, nobody should be hurt. That's very important. Okay, nobody should be hurt. You should not be hurt. At the same time, you have to see that anybody else will also not be hurt. And that is what the assertive skill is. Okay. So develop assertive behavior for better personal and the professional life. You would always develop assertive behavior so that you have better professional life, you will be good executive or you will be good entrepreneur, and you will be a good family person also. The assertive skill is not only required in industry or in education. Assertive skill is required in every walk of the life. Every walk of the life. Every day to day. When you deal with your parents, when you deal with your children's or anybody else if you are married actually. Okay, with your spouse if you are married. Okay. So when you deal with all your friends and relatives, assertive skill will be very, you will get respect. So, but in that you have to be aware of your rights. So by respecting others, don't lose your rights. That's more important. Okay, you have to always aware of your rights. So don't lose your rights. This is more important. ऐसा नहीं कि भाई सबको रिस्पेक्ट देने में खुद को भूल जाओ. Otherwise people will consider you as a docile. So be aware of your rights, express your feelings, wants and ideas effectively. Whatever you want, don't basically make it, somewhat window dressing. Put the ideas very effectively. Develop a positive self-image. This is required for any communication, any interaction. Yesterday also we have talked about it. Handle unfair demands, conflicts, and discipline problems effectively. See, industry में क्या होगा साहब? When you go to the industry in a professional life, many times unfair demands comes to you. Conflicts will come to you. Conflict management is another skill actually. Okay. And disciplinary problem comes to you. Okay. You have to handle it very effectively. Unfair demand, never basically go down to that. Conflicts, don't become a part of it, but try to solve it. Disciplinary problem, take action. Take corrective action. Otherwise, you will be fired from the industry. So remember that this is to be studied by you, analyzed by you if you want to become a good assertive people. And say no comfortably. This is important. You have to say no comfortably. If you want to say no, no, say no very, very clearly. Say no very, very clearly. Okay. And avoid being exploited or manipulated. Say people will manipulate you in the industry. People are very wise actually. People are very wise, very smart. They will manipulate you. Okay, they will आपको ये आपकी स्क्रिप्ट में फंसा देंगे. Is a very, I mean, you might not have faced that type of problems in your, education. But the moment you go to industry बहुत ही क्रूअल होती है. कि आपको फंसा देंगे कोई भी, आपका सीनियर फंसा देंगे, आपके जूनियर फंसा देंगे, कभी कभी आपके टीम मेंबर भी आपको फंसा देंगे कि फॉर हिज और हर बेनिफिट. Okay. So avoid, you see that whether you are exploited or manipulated, you have to avoid that. Don't to see that people won't be able to do that. And for that, you should be analytical and problem solving. Be confident and positive whenever you speak something, be positive and be confident. Then you become a good assertive person. Okay. So this is what required to develop a good assertive skill. Basically, you have to develop a positive attitude and assertive behavior. Self-confidence and high self-esteem. You should, must respect yourself very high. And you must have a self-respect much, and you must have a self-confidence. If you don't have a self-confidence, you can't become assertive person. And that is the very first thing required when you enter the industry. Self-respect you should always maintain. A boss है तो कुछ ऐसा गिर नहीं जाने का. You have to see that what respect you should give and what respect you should demand. So self-confidence and high self-esteem is required for assertive behavior. Respect for self and towards others also. Take responsibility for the self. Motivate to do a good job. Motivated to do a good job. Always try to do a good job. You always try to do a good job. And remember, in industry, it is always a job which is matter. Okay. So always try to do the good job. Motivate yourself to do a good job. Okay. Now, interested in others' feelings and thoughts. When deals in a team, when deals for a particular important task, okay, always take interest in the feeling of other and the thoughts, how the other people are thinking. See, some people never think that what those other people are thinking. You have to basically you have to take interest in the other feelings and the other thoughts also. Okay. Ask questions. If you have some problem, ask questions to, don't afraid in asking question to the most junior person or most senior person. Ask questions. Be honest and direct. Be honest. Honesty and loyalty is the most important virtues in industry to climb the ladder fast. See, say only technological knowledge is not important. You require to be honest and loyal to the industry. So honesty and loyalty basically scored over the technology. Remember, is even scored over the technology. It is the age over the technology. Okay. So be honest and direct. Listen to others. Always try to listen to others and ask others for feedback. If you keep on asking the feedback, then you know that how to respect them or what is the problem with them. So this is what the attitude required to be developed for assertive skill. Now, having known this much about the assertive skill, let us try to write a one sentence definition. What is assertiveness? Now we have seen that what are the elements required to be assertive, how it is to be developed, how we should make our mental readiness for that. Okay, or what are the basic requirements? What are the statutory requirement to become a assertive? Now, if I wanted to make a definition in a one sentence, first thing is when you are assertive, you have a balance of power. A simple logic. When you are assertive, you have a balance of power. And if you are docile or aggressive, you have an imbalance of power. Be clear about it. Assertiveness means you have a balance of power, and docile skill or a non-assertive skill or a aggressive skill, it is basically a imbalance of power. Imbalance of power. That was basically you can put in a one sentence. However, technically, we have to put like this. Assertiveness means an honest, direct, and appropriate expression of one's feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. And once again, I am reading it. An honest, direct, and appropriate expression of one's feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. This is what required to be a good assertive person. It is required to be a good assertive person. Now, there are some facts about assertion. Let's understand the facts about the assertion. Comfortable about expressing one's opinion, thoughts, needs, or wants in a particular situation. Okay. This is what you should be. Okay. This is what you should be. Then and then you become a assertive. Be comfortable about your opinion, expressing your opinion, expressing your thoughts, express your need, what is required to do the job, or wants to in a particular situation. Remember that your want, your thoughts, your needs are very important, whether you are comfortable with it or not. If you are not comfortable, you will not become successful person ultimately, remember. So first become comfortable with it. Comfortable about expressing one's opinion, be comfortable about expressing your opinion and thoughts, needs, or wants in a particular situation. This is what very first thing you should do. The very first thing you should do. Be aware. Say, when you put your viewpoint, it's not that assertive person always win. They also lose sometimes. But it is very likely that they may have win-win situation. At least, even if they will not win, they will not create a more enemies. Okay. So basically, be aware. Sometimes the needs are met, opinions, ideas accepted. Sometimes they are not. Understand this. Okay. Every time your ideas and opinions are not accepted by the people, okay, in the industry. When you go to the industry, you will feel that whatever I give, I have an idea to, which is, so nice that everybody should accept it. For you, it looks very logical and a very nice idea, exponentially profitable idea. But remember that sometimes the needs are met, opinions and ideas are accepted, sometimes they are not, because there might be other constraint also which you might not be knowing, okay, which you might not be knowing. So this is the particular situation. Sometimes we feel that I don't know why this is not being accepted. Sometimes you feel like that. You analyze the things in such a way that everybody is a rosy picture and everything is good and nothing to be lost by the industry, then people should accept your ideas. But it is very likely that your senior will reject them. Because you don't know, because you are not aware actually that what the constraints senior people have. And therefore, you have to analyze it. You have to basically take feedback. You have to analyze it. You have to analyze it. That what are the problems? Why he is not accepting? Okay, why the senior people are not accepting? You may put a very good proposal. You may put a very good proposal, but they are not accepting them. It happens. Why they are not accepting? You don't have idea. Because they are, say, everybody works under constraints in the industry. Okay. Senior people have a big constraint, you have a small constraint. Unless you know the constraint what the senior people have, you will not realize that how to put that. So try to understand the situation, analyze logically, okay, and put the ideas in such a way that nobody will hurt, then you are assertive. Then you are assertive. Assertion is not to have one's own way of always. Assertion doesn't mean that whatever you want to do, you can always do. It doesn't mean you are assertive person. Sometimes whatever you say or whatever you find, it will not happen also. Okay, because you don't have idea of everything in the world. Okay. So you remember this, assertion is not to have one's own always. आपकी तरीके से हमेशा काम नहीं होता है साहब. देखिए लोगों का और क्या प्रॉब्लम है बीच यू डोंट नो, आप जानते नहीं होंगे. बड़े लोग का बड़े प्रॉब्लम होते हैं कि वो जो चेयरमैन होते हैं, डायरेक्टर होते हैं, उसके बड़े 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 प्रॉब्लम होते हैं. आप जानते नहीं और आप ऐसे मतलब चलो मेरा इतना बड़ा आइडिया क्यों एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हो. एनालाइज द सिचुएशन फर्स्ट. Don't unnecessarily lose heart. Don't lose heart. Okay. So it is to realize that one has communicated honestly. Only thing is your job is over if you have communicated honestly and straight. If you have communicated honestly and straight, your job is over. Your job is over. Don't worry whether it is accepted or not accepted. Because sometimes you will never know the problems. Okay. So your task or assertive person task is to communicate your ideas or a view or whatever you want to communicate about or solutions. Communicate honestly, appropriately, and directly to the person concerned, while respecting the right of parties involved. So when you put ideas, you respect everybody, whosoever are there. Your idea is rejected, doesn't matter. It may reject it also because all as I said, things are different every time. So it's not appropriate to be assertive in all the situations. Again, there are some situations where you cannot become assertive. Let's be the case of Britishers. Britishers ruled India more than 100 years. Then Gandhiji came with the non-violence and keep on discussing with the Britishers. And you know that everybody knows the freedom history actually. And after a long struggle, etc., Gandhiji and Nehru and other people at that time, okay, succeeded in getting the freedom from the Britishers. Now, are they assertive? Are the Britishers assertive? Yes. Now, look at the other situation. Look at the other situation. Instead of Britishers, if Lashkar-e-Toiba is there, what will happen to Gandhiji? You can't think even, then it. You can't think even. Okay, if there is a Lashkar-e-Toiba or Aisha or something like that, what will happen? What will happen to the Gandhiji and the other people? Okay, you can imagine well. You can imagine well actually, isn't it? So we always remember that it is not appropriate to be assertive in all the situations. आपको situation देखना पड़ेगा, and then you become assertive. Okay. So that's how the matters. Okay. So assertive to कहीं in between है, between your need and the other needs. Aggressive people are always worried about their needs. Other and passive people or non-assertive people always worried about the other's need rather than their need because they don't have courage to fight back for their need. Okay. So actually, the assertiveness is somewhere in between. Okay, somewhere in between. It is basically LCM of these two. Okay. They will see their need also. They will see others' need also. Okay. And therefore, they remain a very respected people in the world, actually. They are always active, direct, honest, move comfortably, communicate self-respect, teach wants, needs, and rights of self as well as others, leads to win-win situation. Others choose to cooperate with an assertive person. Always, this is very important point actually. All other persons, even though he is making a good point or a bad point, but all other person will be cooperating with the assertive people. The reason is because that assertive people have never hurt him or her. Okay. So success will not involve retaliation. Even though assertive people succeed, other will not become his or her enemies. Other feel that yeah, he is deserving or she is deserving, and therefore he is getting that reward. That is what the situation. Okay. So this is how the assertive behavior gives the result. How to be assertive? I'm talking actually since long about that only. Okay. But if I summarize, begin with a positive assumption. Always do the positive assumption. Whatever the matter, whatever the problem, whatever the problem is there, always make a positive assumption about it. Never ply into the negativity. Okay. Begin with the positive assumption. Be proactive. Always try to see what is happening. Okay. Therefore, I said in one of the slides, okay, if you don't do the most important job, over a period of time it becomes urgent, and you have to do it without, in the SOS level. You have to do it with the SOS level actually. Immediately you have to do, and you might just sacrifice so many other resources in that case. But if you are proactive, then all important job you will carry out before that it takes time or before the time comes. So be proactive. It will help you to become assertive much. Know what you want. You should know. Say when you go to the industry, I have seen that many times. I was when I was superintendent in the last project. I have around 12 general manager systems with me. There are people who doesn't know what they want. They come to me, ask something, and if I give that something to them, they are not satisfied. They wanted something else. Means they are not clear actually what they wanted. Okay. So be clear what you want. Then you can become an assertive person. Okay. First make your mind clear that what you want from this transaction. Okay. Whenever you communicate to your say higher ups, when you communicate to your boss in industry, be clear what is your requirement. Suppose I wanted to make, I have some project to make in the industry. If I require a certain laptop, certain server, certain tablets, I should be clear about that, what I want. Analyze it, and then you put forward a proposal to your senior. So know what you want. First thing is you should know what you want. If you don't analyze that, don't go to the boss. You will be defeated. Use I statement and feeling verbs. I will do it. Always say that I will do it. Okay. Speak up for yourself, and you should always speak for yourself. Don't feel compelled to always. There is no compulsion actually. You should always see that any compulsion can be overcome. Okay, be have that much courage. Okay, don't feel compelled to always justify yourself. Whatever say, that's a very important portion. Whatever you say, you must have a logic behind it. If there is no logic, don't say it. Even though हम लोग आईटी में तो बोलते हैं कि logic is a best solution to come to a wrong conclusion with confidence. But remember, logic is always required. Okay, so don't justify yourself. Have a good logic for what you wanted or what you need. So justify yourself. Have a logical approach on that. Say no firmly and calmly. अगर ना भी बोलना हो ना आराम से बोलो कि वो एग्रेसिव होके ना मत बोलो. Match your delivery to your message. See, it should be in harmony as we saw yesterday. Your message and delivery should match. And always look for solution. Don't add to the problems. Some people have a habit to keep on adding to the problems. Don't add to the problems all the time. You don't add to the problem all the time. Okay. Add the solutions. Because if you add the problem, it doesn't help you and doesn't help your team also, doesn't help the industry also. Okay. So that's what the things how to become a assertive. So basic assertive skill is expressing your opinion. Being expressive lets people know where you stand. Means always keep on expressing. Express yourself. Talk about yourself. Honestly. Talk about yourself honestly. So being expressive lets people know where you stand. So the people know that what is your strength. See, actually, in the industry, there is a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, I don't know, some might have referred to you earlier or not. Then I will tell you. SWOT analysis is a big exercise, but SWOT analysis means you should know what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities come in a way, and what are the threats coming in way. That is no SWOT. SWOT. So strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. SWOT. Do SWOT analysis first. You must do that SWOT analysis first, actually. Okay. So and then express yourself. So being expressive, people will know where you stand. Okay. And then they will depend on you. They and you will become ultimately a successful person, either successful employee or successful employer. It can demonstrate credibility, making you more persuasive. If you do like this, it will add to your credentials. It will add to your credentials and make you more persuasive. Okay. बाद में आप जो बोलोगे ना उसका वजन रहेगा. Remember, that is what that you achieve the assertiveness there. Okay. Whatever you talk, people will not ignore. People will not ignore. Okay. So that's credibility comes when you develop the total assertive skill. Okay. Now, once again, I give you the definitions. Assertiveness is the ability to honestly express your opinion, feelings, attitudes, and rights without any anxiety in a way that doesn't infringe on the rights of others. It means that you put forward your rights, but in such a way that it doesn't infringe. Doesn't take anybody else's right actually. You have to see that you're basically when you express your rights, that expression should not infringe anybody else's right. किसी का right ले लेने का, then you are assertive. It's not aggressiveness, it's middle ground between being a bully and the doormat. So basically, that's very important sentence actually. It's not always aggressiveness. Sometimes you have to have a middle ground between bullying. You will not become aggressive also, and at the same time, you don't become a docile also. It's basically middle ground. Assertiveness is basically middle ground. You are acceptable. You are digestible to all. Okay, if you are assertive, you are digestible. Assertive people are like a potato. पोटैटो कोई भी सब्जी में चल जाता है ना, इसी तरह assertive people are liked by everyone. Okay, and they will put you in any team, and they feel that he is the right person, he or she is the right person. Okay, so it is like a potato in a vegetables. Okay, acceptable by all the vegetables. It is dependent on a feelings of self-efficacy, a sense that if you behave in a certain way, something predictable will occur. That's how the people become dependent about you, and you always know what will happen with your step. If you are assertive, you will always know if I take this step, what will happen. If I take this decision, what will happen. If I take that decision, what will happen. That only assertive people can basically imagine, not the aggressive and docile. Then benefits. I mean, benefit or no benefit, you have to be assertive to be successful person. Okay, you have to be assertive to become a success. But there are benefits. Let's talk about it. Acting assertive helps maintain honestly in relationship. If you are assertive, your relationship is always long. A very long duration relationship bond. Okay. Allocating feel more in control of your word. You have always more control on the world around you. Key and improves your ability to take decisions. You to act passively to conform to these beliefs and example includes. I will give the example. Remember, understand this particular sentence. Okay. If you are assertive, your relationship with anybody will not break easily. Okay. Because you become dependable. Okay. Your relationship will always honest, and that people will maintain relationship with you for a long time. Actually, they will not break from you. Okay, they will not break from you. Whereas very easily they will break from the aggressive people and the docile people. Okay, but they will not break. People will not break from you if you are assertive. Okay, so your relationship, which is honest actually, will have a long term, long tenure actually. Maybe your whole life, maybe a full life actually. And another is the right to decide how to lead your life. Means you are deciding how to live. Okay, assertiveness means you are deciding how to live my life. You have a right to decide living your life. You have a right to pursue goals and dreams. You can see the dream. Some people doesn't see the dream also. Assertive people see the dreams actually. Okay, so and they have a right to pursue the goal and the dreams. You have a right to a valid opinion. You have a right to say how you want to be treated. You have a right to say no, say yes also you have a right. You have a right to change your mind, you have a right to privacy, and you have a right to ask for help and many more. Means these are the rights you have, which you should know when you are assertive. And assertive people knows this right better and they exercises this right. They basically exercises this right. Okay. Whatever the right they have, they will basically exercise all the right they have. Okay. So basically, acting to assert any of these rights leads to many people to think they are acting selfishly. Sometimes people feel that you are selfish because you are acting on your right. Acting assertive helps maintain honesty and relationship. Allow you to feel more in control of your word and improves your ability to make decisions. But if you are assertive, when you exercise this right, and people will not object because you have image of assertiveness. You created that because honest and straight communication you have done. You have not hurt anybody. You have respected anybody. You have respected everybody. Okay, along with yourself. So that basically your personality will go in that particular fashion. Okay. Now the importance of assertiveness, thumb rules. Assertiveness is, as I said, whether we like it or not. If you want to success, you have to be. Aggressiveness and docile skill or behavior will not send you anywhere. Okay. Rules of thumb says that if you don't ask, you won't get. And that is what the assertive people knows. There is one idiom, crying baby gets food. If the baby doesn't cry, no, mother also will not give him. him or her food, isn't it? Okay. Crying baby always gets food. So if you're assertive, then don't assume of asking. If you don't ask, you won't get. Remember this sentence. If you don't ask, you won't get. आप मांगोगे नहीं तो कोई देगा नहीं आपको. So you may have first heard this at school. It may be sometime a glitch, but the bottom line is that it is true. There is one idiom in our Gujarati, na મોસાળમાં માં પીરસવાળી હોય પણ પીરસવાનું તમારે માગવું પડે કે શું ખાવું છે, what you want to eat actually, isn't it? And that much assertiveness you will have, you should have. Okay, so it's very old, but it is still true and relevant. The one thing you can guarantee about getting what you want is that if you know that you want it, no one is likely to give it to you. If लोगों को मालूम ही नहीं आपको क्या चाहिए, आपको कभी वो मिलेगा ही नहीं. It's very simple. कि आपको क्या चाहिए अगर लोगों को मालूम नहीं होता तो आपको वो मिलेगा कैसे? If you want something and if your boss doesn't know it, how you will get it actually? So if you don't ask, you won't get. There is a thumb rule for assertiveness. Second is, if you don't set the agenda, someone else will do. Okay, sometime in a group meeting ना, अगर आप एजेंडा नहीं बनाओगे तो कोई और बना देगा और वो चलेगा भी. That's the problem, because then you feel unimportant. So if you don't set the agenda, someone else will, and it will work also, unfortunately, many times. So be clear that set your agenda. Set your agenda. Not one you will have learned in the playground, but nonetheless two. Set your agenda. It may be a playground or industry or a home front or a family gathering, whatever. The base person to set your agenda is you. अरे आपका एजेंडा है तो आपको ही बनाना पड़ेगा साहब. कोई अगर कोई दूसरा आके तो आपको बना के नहीं जाएगा. Okay, so set your agenda. If you leave it to someone else, they certainly won't have your interest as heart as much as you. आप किसी और को दोगे वो जॉब ना तो उसका आपके लिए इतना इंटरेस्ट उसके पास नहीं होगा सर. Okay, so don't leave it to someone else to make your agenda. Okay, your agenda you should make yourself. Third rule of thumb is non-assertive behavior is equal to problems. That is a kimbodhanti, which is wrong. Non-assertive behavior is problems. Okay. Now, we know that non-assertive behavior is either aggressive behavior or a docile behavior. Both behavior have problems. Okay. So non-assertive behavior brings in its wake all manners of problems, including conflict, non-cooperation, and sabotage. Okay. This is very, it's very likely to happen like this. Okay. Non-assertive people, non-assertive means either a person is aggressive or a person is docile, or aggressive or docile. Non-assertive behavior brings its wake of manner problems, including conflict. आप एग्रेसिव हो तो आपके साथ conflict भी ज्यादा रहेगी. People will not cooperate with you, and people will sabotage your project. That's very easily. If you are assertive, none of things will happen. So that's what we should be, assertive. Now there are some characteristics which I have narrated here. I have highlighted the assertive characteristics because they are very important. Okay. Passive and aggressive behavior, which is not desirable, but since the traits are there, people are still there, and many people are with the passive behavior in the world. Many people are aggressive behavior in the world, and very few people are with the assertive behavior. And the people who are in the assertive behavior, climb the ladder very early and scale a new heights of their own careers. Remember, you have to develop that skill to be a successful person. Passive behavior, if you see the characteristics, fails to express needs and feelings. Assertive behavior always direct expression of needs and feelings. They will immediately express whatever the need and feeling they have. So these guys are always pale. Okay, whereas the assertive people always basically direct express their feeling. Aggressive people direct express needs and feelings. So these people also actually express their need and feeling rather strongly than the assertive people. without looking twice to the other way. Now avoid eye contact. See, आपने देखा होगा कभी-कभी lucid people को ना, they will avoid your, they will move away from you. Okay, they will not have eye contact with you. Whereas assertive people will look directly at the eyeballs. Look, because they have dignity, they look directly at others. Okay. Whereas the aggressive people uses the eyeballs directly, they try to fight with someone. Passive people are hesitant or for rapid speech. Their speech is not rapid actually. They speak very slowly, very lengthy actually, and very boring. Whereas the assertive people have a very fluid speech, very fluid speech. Aggressive people also have a good speech, but their speech is more with the power and basically making some people guilty about it. There's a difference. Whereas these have a very fluid speech. Passive people, low voice, whereas the assertive people are clear and modulated voice. They basically have a very controlled voice. Okay, very vintage voice, very loaded voice. Okay, they know what they are speaking. Okay. And here, voice may be sometimes the aggressive people, no? Sometimes they make voice very high, sometimes they make voice very low. Okay. But they are not in their own command actually. They are not in the control of themselves. Passive, a tense body movement. Have you seen the passive people? They remain always tense. If you look at them, they are always stressful. Whereas the assertive people is always a calm body language. बहुत शांत रहते हैं लोग. If you develop, you will also become like that. आप बहुत शांत रहोगे. Whereas the aggressive people remain tense. They have a tense body posture. May use threatening movement. Okay. So they are always tense. Okay. Passive behavior tends to invite aggression from others. So that because they can't become aggressive, na, passive people. So they always wanted that someone else will help them. ये ऐसा है ना कि भाई सपोज एक पैसिव इफ यू आर डोसाइल और इफ यू आर नॉन एसेटिव पर्सन ना, आपको कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ ना, तो आप तो बोल नहीं पाओगे बिकॉज यू आर पैसिव. आपका ट्रेड ऐसा है कि आप यू कैन नॉट कम आउट विथ करेजियसली. Then you wanted that problem will occur to someone else also who is very forceful and powerful. He always waited for others to solve the problems because he or she cannot solve by himself or us. So that's important. So it invites aggression from others. He doesn't have a aggression. Whereas the assertive person are always non-threatening to others. They solve the problems and they doesn't threaten others. Whereas the aggressive people always threaten the other guys. Now passive people does not speak up for self. वो लोग बात नहीं करेंगे खुद के लिए, घबराते हैं, शर्म आती है. Okay. Whereas the assertive people stand up very straight for legitimate right. But life should be legitimate. They are very important. Okay. And aggressive people impinges on the other side. They always basically, always take other rights with them. Okay. So this is how the assertive people's behavior or assertive people characteristic. And you find that why they behave. Okay. I have more actually. I think let's finish this and then we'll have a break for 5-10 minutes. Jenny is okay? Is Jenny listening? Hello? Is Jenny listening? Okay, let's have this slide complete and then we'll again try to dialogue. Non-assertive have a long and rambling statement. Rambling means kya? Rambling means non-assertive people always speak very lengthy, okay, and confused. Their statements are always confused and very lengthy. Okay, that's what the characteristic of the statements by the non-assertive. Whereas the assertive people always have a brief and clear to the point. Whereas the aggressive people always say, I am this, I am that, like that. They have an I in the statement always. Non-assertive people always feeling the worst. They say like maybe like that. Whereas these guys are very assertive people are very clear that I would like, and aggressive people boasting. They boast that I can do anything in the world. Non-assertive people frequent justification they wanted. Assertive people distinction between fact and the opinion, which we have seen yesterday. Okay, they always basically keep on distinct what is fact and what is opinion, and they take corrective action. Where aggressive people are always threatening. Non-assertive are apologize and permission seekers. They always keep on apologizing to others. That is the characteristic of the non-assertive people. Whereas the aggressive people normally never apologize unless they are the subject is like that. Suggestions not weighted with advice. And aggressive people always request for threat. They always say that, they always keep on giving a threat. Non-assertive people, few I statements, often qualified, whereas the aggressive, assertive people have no suits and oughts. They always put the kind of affirmatively statement. Whereas the aggressive are heavily weighted, the form of should and ought. You should do it. You ought to do it, not I. Okay, sometimes. Non-assertive people self put downs. For example, I am helpless or hopeless like that. Assertive people doesn't do that. Patient to find out the thoughts, opinions, and wants to others. And aggressive people assume that other person has to do that job. They always wanted the other person will have to do job. Non-assertive, the last characteristic, faces that dismiss own needs. They don't know what they wanted actually. Okay. And aggressive people are very clear about what the criticism comes or what blames are come. Without having a blame, they will basically put the assumption. And aggressive people always blame put on others. That's what basically the few characteristics here. Okay. And assertive people ultimately have ways to getting round problem. And aggressive people have some sarcasm always. They always basically have a sarcastic comments. So this is what basically the total characteristics. With this slide, I would like to have a break for 10 minutes. Jenny, are you there? Hello? Is Jenny there?
Hello, sir, I'm Vinita here.
Okay, can we have a break of 10 minutes now?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yes, sir.
So we will meet again, said around 4:42 or 45.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Okay, then let's have a break for 10 minutes. Hope the slide is visible. Hope the slide is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Uh, we have been discussing on the various characteristics of assertiveness, what to develop for the assertiveness, how important it is, and to become a successful person, you need to become assertive. Now, if you look at the people around you or around the world, most of the entrepreneurs or businessmen, they are always assertive. They always talk reasonably, they always talk, and they normally never insult anybody. It's basically basic characteristics. If you become a successful entrepreneur, it's basically a basic characteristics. Even I have one example. I have one student at M.Sc, Parul University. He started after doing the M.Sc complete. He started his startup. And in startup, today, he is so engrossed into that, he actually has hired another 5 to 6 M.Sc students as an employee. But I have seen that since he was attending my classes, I have found that he was very assertive since beginning. Whatever wanted, he asked straight. He always see that he will not disturb anybody else. So you see that assertiveness is something which will make you to a very higher position. Okay. Now let's see that that's the reason why it is important. It is very much important. Okay, and one must basically attempt to become an assertive person. Okay. Now let's see. Someone has to unmute the microphone. Okay. Why assertiveness is important? Number one is effective communications brings about the achievement of individual and or shared goals. Okay, the assertive person always makes a very effective and straight communications. Okay. So they will lead to the achievement and goals of whatever the his team or he has. Now the goal is something which is very confusing term. We have two terms, goal and target. Okay. The difference between goal and target is, very minor actually. Okay, goal is something where either company has to reach there, or individual make a goal that I will reach to this position, or a businessman reach that I will reach to this turnover. Okay, so there is something a goal. It is a goal, a macro level purpose. Whereas the target is what? Target is always time bound. That target means time. You will give a time to the goal. That you will do this within 5 years, within this month, within this year, within 10 years. Likewise. So goal and targets are different. Assertive persons need to understand both goal and target. Okay, both goal and target. The reason is because you can't have a only goal. It is always sad goal in industry. Individual may not have a goal. Is a group's goal. Individual may have his own goal. That's a different story altogether. But it's basically a group's goal or industry's goal actually. So he must know the difference between the goal and target. What is the target? Now, that's what I will give one example to make it more clear the difference between the goal and the target. Say somewhere in 89 or 90, during my routine checkup, I was identified as a diabetic. I'm still diabetic. Actually. So you know that, and I was little younger than what I am today. And you know that when you become a diabetic, first time you know, you get depressed. And the one thing in our society is very good, that you will get free advices from everybody. So my friend, my relatives started giving, including doctor, they started giving me advice that Deepak, you should keep on walking in the morning. You should walk a lot. You should walk a lot like that. Now that so many people have given me the advice, I take it very seriously, and I started walking in the morning. Actually, I'm staying at the Ambawadi, and one fine morning, I started walking from Ambawadi, my residence, and I keep on walking till the river front. Then I thought that I cannot go back actually, because I must have walked 5, 6 kilometers. Okay. So then I was worried. How should I go back? Then I have to catch the auto and I have to come to my residence. Now, what is problem here? Goal was fixed. I have to walk. Goal was fixed. I must walk because I am diabetic. Any diabetic person should. The one remedy is to walk. Goal was fixed for me. I was right in my goal. I should walk. Target was not fixed. How much to walk, how much time to walk was not fixed. So I went up to the riverfront actually, and then I get trapped there. How to come back? So this is what basically the difference between the goal and the target. Assertive people actually should know both. I don't say I'm not assertive, but basically the point is assertive people should know that what is goal, what is target. Goal is basically stratified or make a sub goals, and each sub goal might have a target. Assertive people must know as an entrepreneur or as a good employee, okay, what are the target attached to the goal. Okay. So that's not the very important part for the assertive people. Assertiveness increases your ability to reach these goals while maintaining your rights and dignity. But they are very clear about their rights and their dignity. Even though, because sometimes what happens is in a hurry to maintain the goal and to goal and the target, we forget about our rights sometime and we forget our dignity also. Assertive people will not do that because they have to live a long life actually. Everybody has to live a life. So that they wanted that there may be new goal will come, doesn't matter, but they will never forget the rights and dignity. That is a very important factor for a assertive people. Okay. Now, what's keeping you from being assertive? Sometimes people wanted to become assertive, but they won't become. What is the problem? What problem comes into that? First thing is they have a fear of change. Okay. Because when you become assertive, the moment you become assertive, you have always fear. People have fear that if I start behaving in this way, people may take disadvantage of me because I am nice to all. I give respect to all. So I may be considered as that people may take just for granted. That is one fear actually. It's a fear only because assertive people should handle this. Second is refusal to admit their submission. Sometimes what happens is they feel that I have to submit myself somewhere, I will not admit because I am assertive. It's not right actually. Because assertive people should also at time, if it is logical, he or she should submit. He should become a submissiveness. Okay. Then fear of ruining relationship if you speak your mind. Sometimes what happens since the assertive people are very clear, very honest in the straightforward communications, they feel that if I speak very straightforward and honest, my relationship will be hurt or my relationships will be ruined. In fact, the other way, in a long, they have a long relationship. I have seen that. and lack of confidence in every. People feel that if you are so assertive, then you don't have much confidence. This is what that is keeping you away from the keeping people away from being assertive. But these all are basically not true. Okay. Being assertive is focusing on the goal. That's very important. Okay. Being assertive is a focusing on the goal. That's what the goal I was talking about. It is always you are focused on the goal only. All assertive employees, I'm not talking about the entrepreneurship and your industrial life. All employees basically have to focus on the goal. And remember, don't say that everybody has a goal. Everybody has been given a goal. Okay. So basically, being assertive is focusing on the goal. Being assertive is being a self-esteem. Being assertive is being true to yourself. Being assertive is building self-esteem always. And being assertive is nurturing yourself and showing respect to your rights and others' rights. This is what being assertive means what? Okay, this is what being assertive means what? Okay. Now, other problem with everyone. We have to learn to say no with smile. And we have to learn to say yes also with smile. Actually, मैंने इंडस्ट्री में देखा है कि suppose I give some job to my colleague or my team member. Say sometime I will give a job which is beyond his capacity. But because he cannot say no, he takes up and then make a mess of it. I somehow know sometimes that he cannot do the job. But he or she may come with enthusiasm and I may, or he or she, I may assign the job. Now he also knows that now it cannot be done, but he cannot say no to me. It happens, depends upon your position, depends upon your personality. He or she cannot say no. As a result, he takes up the job. He doesn't do also, he can't do it also, he doesn't have a capacity. Okay, and he make a mess of the whole job. That things happens. So learn to say no. When it entitled to no, say no very strict, very clearly, honestly, without fear. That assertive people has to do it, and they will do it. Okay. These docile people never do it. Okay. So remember that learn to say no. Why it is difficult to say no? हम ना क्यों नहीं बोल सकते हैं? I mean, this not only the industry, in your personal life also, in your family life also, with your friend also. अब कभी ना बोलना हो तो you have a problem. Because someone asks your help ना आप ना नहीं बोल सकते because you are his friend or something like that. In family also sometimes people manipulate you. आप ना नहीं बोल सकते. You can't say no. Why it is difficult? First thing is people feel. Okay. People feel that if I say no, they may feel hurt or rejected. Okay. कि भाई if you say no ना, which is entitled for no actually. If you say no ना, hello. Okay. So that is what thing that people feel that people will hurt if I say no. That's the one worry. Second is if I say no this time, they may not like anymore, and they don't ask me next time. There's another fear. If I say no this time, na, they may never ask me again. They won't take any notice if I say no. They would say yes to me, and so I will feel guilty if I refuse them. And I can't say no because I feel sorry. These are the reasons actually. Some are true, some are semi-true. Okay. But if you are assertive, if you are assertive, na, you have to come over all this. And if the particular matter entitles for no, speak no very straight. Okay. Then how to say no assertively? अभी ना बोलने के भी तरीके होते हैं. Just like aggressive people, don't say no to everybody or everything, whatever matter comes in the way. Aggressive people does that actually. Straightway no, without going into the logic of the job or logic of the point. Now, how to say no assertively? First thing you should remember, okay, you are saying no to a particular request, not rejecting the person. कि जो लोग ने आपको जॉब दिया, you are saying no to the job. You are not rejecting the person who has given you. Bear in mind. Okay, it's basically bear in mind. You are saying no to that particular request only. It doesn't mean that if the same person gives another request, you should keep on saying no. It depends on the entitlement of that idea or on the merits and demerits of that point. So remember, you are saying no to the request, not to the person. Clear in mind, you can say no. If your request takes you, whenever you have not sufficient time to this, when asked, you can always say, let us know. In order to give yourself time to think about what you want to say. Say sometimes, don't immediately say no. Ask some time. Once you get some time, you will analyze the situation. You will analyze that particular point. Okay. And then you can say no very clearly because you have the logic to say no. So there is no need, no hurry to say no immediately. Okay. Take the job with you or ask some time from him, analyze the problem during that time and see whether you can do it or not. And honestly, if you cannot do it, then you can go straight and straightforward, you can say no. Or take responsibility for saying no. Do not blame the other person for asking you. अगर आपने ना बोला तो उसका भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना पड़ता है because you say no. So take all whatever the pros and cons come to say no should come to you now. Okay, so take responsibility of that and ask for more information if you need it in order to decide whether you want to say yes. So you may ask always more information. Remember that Boolean answer, Boolean means yes or no. Any Boolean answer is difficult. Straight way you can't say yes easily, straight way you can't say no easily. And for that you need a assertion. For that you need a assertion. Okay. So start your reply with a clear, firm and audible no. But there's one thing. Always start a reply with, say, if you say no, don't become hanky-panky. Straight no. People should know that you are telling no actually. Okay. Some people will just narrowa, kunjrova, they keep like that. Okay. Don't give a hanky-panky answer if you are assertive. Do not justify or make excuses. Giving a reason, it is difficult from over apologizing. So once you say no, don't try to justify. Okay. And not over apologize also. Because you cannot do it since it is difficult to do it. Then feel that you have a right to say no. And आपको जब पूछा गया आपका right भी होगा yes no बोलने का. So feel that you have a right to say no also. Once you have said no, do not stay around waiting to be persuaded to change your mind. Make a definite closure by changing the subject, walking away, continuing with what you are doing, whatever is appropriate. So एक दफे ना बोलने के बाद don't go back. Okay, because but you take some time before saying no. That was I told you in the very earlier slide. Take time before saying no. But once you say no, then you forget about it. Forget about it. Okay, don't stay around. Okay, try to make doing so whatever the job you are doing. Okay. So don't basically do something more overlapping on that no. Now the same way it is difficult to say yes also. And if you want to develop assessment skill, you should know these points. Okay. Don't say yes to every problem. Don't say yes to every proposal comes to you. Don't say yes to every point comes to you. That is the job of docile people, not you. Okay. Docile people, because they can't say no, courage नहीं होती है तो yes बोलते रहते हैं. But aggressive people keeps on talking no because they feel that by telling no I can fight with them. But you, as an assertive developer or SLC develop skill, should not have difficulty to say yes, either yes or no. It is difficult sometimes for a non-assertive people because they feel I don't deserve it. They might not really mean it. I'm not really sure that it is what is to be done. I don't have enough information. Say, that's the reason people don't say yes clearly. There's the reason why people don't say yes very, very clearly. Okay. Now, human assertive rights. There are 7 rights which every human should exercise. And assertive people should see that this right will be maintained in his or her case. And that sense is to be done. First, the right to express sexuality, the right to have needs and desire. Everybody has a need and desire. The right to have information, the right to have goods and services which have been paid, the right to be independent and to be left alone, the right to say no, at the same time the right to say yes also, and the right to be treated with respect. These are the rights you must bear in mind, and you see that this right you will exercise. Okay, this right you must exercise. That the assertive people knows that these are my rights, and they will exercise. Okay. Now, suppose you want to test your assertiveness. How you test? Whether you have developed enough assertiveness or not. Okay. I did you around 50-55 slides on assertive skill. But let's say that how you test yourself. First is, can you express negative feelings about other people and their behavior without using abusive language? Number one, very, very important. It means that if you can express negative feelings about others without hurting others, then you are assertive. Can you express negative feelings about others and their behavior without using abusive language? गाली दिए के बिना अगर आप नेगेटिव फीलिंग कर सकते हो तो आप assertive है, otherwise you are not. Are you able to exercise and express your strength? Can you easily recognize and compliment other people's achievement? कि कोई अच्छा काम करता है तो उसको भी आप कॉम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं. That aggressive people will never do it. Docile people are not in a position to do it. Okay. So you see whether you are able to do that or not. Do you have the confidence to ask what is your right to any